So I went home for the holidays and I hung out with my mom and my dad. And there's something that hits a little bit different than it used to. And I wanted to share this with you because I think that, like, when you're a younger, like when I was probably 12 or 11, I remember thinking to myself that um, one day I would have my own family, right? Like, not to say that my mom and dad wouldn't still be my family, they're always your family, but I remember thinking to myself, like, okay, one day I'll have my own family. Um, and my mom had my sister and I when she was 30 and 32, which at the time was a little bit older than everybody else, right? So I never felt like this strong rush or need to get married, have a family super early. I always felt like I had so much time, especially at like 10, 11, 16, 20, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely was like, who cares? I'll get to it when I get to it. But over time, um, it went from me being a younger kid, my parents being like, focus on school. You don't need to be focused on dating, getting married, having kids. Like, just do that. I was like, okay, cool. I mean, obviously, I was kind of like, grass is greener. So I kind of wanted to date at least, right? But it was never like, I was never the kid in school that had a boyfriend in high school, in middle school. I didn't have any of that. I had a couple guys that were interested in me, but I was so scared to tell anyone about it because, I mean, my parents were very strict growing up. And I say that like, oh my God, my parents were so strict. But like, I think that they were right. I actually feel like, I don't even know what my parents would have done in this like AI technology. We had AIM, but my dad put both of our computers, my sister and my computer, in the living room so he could see what we were doing while he was watching TV or in the living room or in the kitchen. Like, from the kitchen, you could see our computers. My dad and mom were not playing at all. So my parents like kept a very close watch on every single thing that we did as kids. And like, as I got older, I remember just being like really nervous when it came to dating or dating anybody. I just felt very like, I don't know, maybe inexperienced would be a good word. Um, as I got older, I dated certain people and I'd be like, oh, okay, this seems really cool. But I felt like I kind of put a lot into it. Like, instead of being the girl who was like super chill about dating, I became this person where I was like, oh my God, like, what's happening? Like, what is this? Is it serious? Is it not serious? And another thing that I also did is I went from being like, okay, having a good time, like maybe dating somebody, just kind of seeing how it goes. But there was always like this pressure in the back of my mind that I needed to take dating seriously. I don't even know if I ever had a period of time where dating was like nonchalant or whatever for me. I feel like it was always like, who is this person? Is this my husband? Is this the person I'm supposed to be with? Maybe there was a little bit of playing around, but not really. And I don't know, I guess just one day I woke up and just kind of realized, I was like, oh my God, like, I think it was probably in my mid 30s where I was just kind of like, whoa, like, wait a minute. Um, I don't have a significant other right now. And it was very like, I don't know. It was like one of those moments where you kind of have to decide as a 30-something-year-old woman. And I think a lot of 30-something-year-old women don't really talk about this, but if you decided that you wanted to have a husband and you wanted to have kids, you need to seriously consider, like, you know, um, are you going to do that? Or are you not going to do that? Um, and are you going to do that in a way that's rushed and that isn't in alignment? Or are you going to do that in a way that actually is in alignment and you're connected with someone who actually is soul first? So I come from an immigrant-based family, and my family's from Eritrea, from Ethiopia, from East Africa. I just sat down and talked to my aunt for like 2 hours about love and relationships. And she was like, Habesha people, we call ourselves Habesha, don't really get into a relationship and like separate. Like, it's not really culturally something that we do. Um, I think modern day version of that, that's not really as true. I think that there are people that do get together that are part of my culture that do separate. It's a real thing. It's not talked about as much, and it's not like touted as something that's good, but the idea of getting into a marriage or into a relationship and staying with that person is a thing that's like kind of expected of you. And I always felt like, I don't know, like I would, if I, like right now, I'm 39, if I were to have talked to or spoken to the 16-year-old version of myself about relationships, she would have been like, are you okay? She would have been like, how did you get to 39 and you don't have kids or a significant other? Granted, right now I am in a relationship, but like I'm talking about a marriage and having kids, right? So like being a wife, how are you not a wife already? How are you not a mom already? And so this Christmas, when I went home to see my parents, right? Like the idea of saying I'm going home at my age feels weird a little bit, because at this age, I feel like I should be developing a home where I am and where I live, and I'm not doing that. And it's not for lack of effort, but I do feel like there was so much self-work that I personally had to do, so much self-love that I had to get to. And I still work on it every single day, especially in this relationship. I find that like it is a mirror for me in a way that I didn't expect. One of my really good girlfriends, who's also a mindset coach, her name is Denise, told me that once you get to a certain place in your life and you've done enough self-work on yourself, that's when you meet your soulmate or your partner, and then you start working on a whole new set of things. Because a lot of people can't really be great on their own. But when you get to a place of when you are really good on your own, and then you meet someone that you really love, enjoy, respect, and then you start to hang out with them, they show you another side of yourself that you have never seen before. All of the insecurities that you've had in your entire life show up. All of your everything, it just all shows up. And so this isn't a conversation to create judgment around me. That's not what I'm doing. But I am sharing that like it does cross my mind sometimes. And I did make the decision. I will say this. I did make the decision in my mid 30s where I was like, if I don't have a child in this lifetime, it is okay. Because I've always been more partner focused, and I've always wanted to build a life with somebody where I felt aligned. And so if I don't have a child, it won't be because I don't want a child. It'll be because I haven't found someone who is aligned with me and we are completely in sync. I believe that I am meant to have a child with someone when I am in complete alignment with that person. And like, that's not the idolization of alignment, right? I'm not saying that like everything needs to be perfect before no, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there needs to be a place where you feel comfortable and aligned, and it needs to make sense. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think for the purpose of procreation, especially when you talk to like Habesha aunties, like they're going to be like, just have a baby, just have one. Like, why are you tripping? Like, you should just do that. And I think that like, I think that people talk about having children in such a casual, nonchalant way. I have so many girlfriends right now that have children at the age of like 2, 3, and 4, like under that 5-year-old range. And they have incredible partners, so many supportive people in their lives, and they are struggling. A partnership to me is what will help hold the ability for someone to be able to see, like, and by someone I mean my child. I want my child to be raised in a home that is love. I want my child to be raised in a home where they can see mom and dad love each other. That's what I want, right? I want to be married. I want to have, I want those things. That's what I want. But I'm also understanding of like God's will. You know what I mean? And so I'm not in a place where I'm going to say, I need to be with a person to just have a baby, to have a child, to have a whatever, just because. I don't feel that this is the purpose that I'm meant to have. I crave peace. And even with your soulmate, even with the best, most amazing, most perfect partner, there will be challenges that you will overcome, right? God willing. But I think that we, as a society, talk about children so much to women, and we just say, just have them in such a casual way that we're not taking into account the life of that child, the seriousness of that, like the commitment that it is to have a baby, like the love that you want to bring that baby into, the home, I want my child to grow up seeing me and my husband in love. I want them to see that we rock with each other, that we are friends, that we enjoy hanging out with each other, that we are each other's best friends. Not our only best friend, but one of our best friends, right? Best friends, lovers, like I want that. And that's the home that I want to bring a child into. And I ask God for that. And when God wants to give it to me, when God feels I am ready and willing and deserving, he will give that to me. And if that's not meant for me in this lifetime, I am also okay. I still believe that God is generous and beautiful and kind, and that I have a locked in relationship with him. My relationship with God is not transactional. It is not, I ask you for this, you didn't give it to me, and now I don't feel like I believe in you anymore. No. My relationship with God is steady, it is connected, it is focused, it is rock solid. And so if I'm meant to be a mom, I will be a mom. If I'm meant to be a wife, which I definitely know I'm meant to be a wife, but if I'm meant to be a wife, it's not on my timeline. If I'm meant to be a mom, it's not on my timeline. So I think that I spend a lot of time thinking about this because, especially during the holidays, I think holidays can be tougher the older that you get. I think holidays just bring up a lot of emotions and feelings, and they have for me for quite some time. I've even disconnected and gone on my own solo trips at certain points, just realizing that like I want to have a different version of the holiday. It's not always to go and visit my mom and my dad, right? And I love them and I love spending time with them, but I think that like at this point in my life, I did feel like I would be creating some of my own traditions, and I did also feel like maybe I would be inviting them, right? Like to my home. With my husband and my children, and be hosting. Like that would be amazing. So yeah, I feel as if I'm sharing this with you. This is probably one of the most vulnerable shares I've had on YouTube, like to share this much about how I feel about life and how it's going. But I'm not sharing it because I'm inviting opinions around it. I'm sharing it because I believe that this is a quiet conversation that we have. Women tend to have this conversation very quietly. And sometimes what we do as women is we pull away from family during these times because the conversation with them becomes, well, how come you didn't have a child? Instead of being like, welcome home. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming to sit with me. The conversation becomes, where is your husband? Why are you not trying? Instead of saying, I'm so happy to see you. I'm glad you're healthy and happy and well, right? So I've seen it happen many times. And I think women are women who are made to feel as if they are less than because they didn't do something that society has asked for them, or even what they have prayed for has not come. I believe that everything happens in alignment. And so I ask, if you're a mother watching this and you have children that are maybe around my age and you feel like the only thing you want to talk to them about is who they're dating or when they're going to have children, I ask you to stop. I ask you to stop because it is preventing you from having a deep, meaningful relationship with your child. Your child does not owe you grandchildren. And if you're a woman watching this and you're around my age and you feel seen by this conversation and you feel seen and connected to what I'm saying, I just want to tell you that like I see you and I understand you deeply. And I know that you might be praying to have children. You might not be praying to have children. You might just be praying to have a partner, because I think more people pray for that than to have children. But you might be praying for a partner. I just want to tell you that I see you and I love you, and that everything works in God's timing, not ours. And so we just have to trust and have faith that it is all going to work out the way that it is supposed to. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.